In today's consumer-driven world, the high sales of popular goods often do not reflect the true needs of society, but rather the powerful influence of advertising. Modern advertisements are everywhere, on our phones, televisions, social media feeds, and even in public spaces, constantly shaping our desires and influencing what we think we need. While advertising was originally designed to inform consumers about useful products and services, it has now evolved into a sophisticated system that often creates artificial wants, encouraging people to buy more than they actually need. This presentation focuses on the growing gap between real human needs and the consumer behavior driven by advertising. Real needs are the essential things people require to live a healthy and meaningful life, such as food, clean water, shelter, education, and healthcare. However, in many societies today, people are persuaded to spend their money on luxury items, trendy gadgets, and status symbols, not because these items are necessary, but because advertising tells them that having such products will make them happier, more attractive, or more successful. As a result, advertising often replaces genuine necessity with perceived desire. This phenomenon raises important questions about the role of advertising in shaping our values and our economy. Are we making purchasing decisions based on what we truly need, or are we simply responding to powerful marketing messages? By exploring how advertising influences our choices and behaviors, we can better understand its impact on society, and perhaps begin to separate what we really need from what we're told we should want. To understand how advertising influences our behavior, it's important to first distinguish between real needs and created desires. Real needs refer to the basic necessities that every human being must have to survive and live a decent life. These include food, clean water, shelter, healthcare, clothing, and education. Without these essentials, individuals cannot maintain their well-being or function properly in society. These needs are universal and remain relatively constant across cultures and time. On the other hand, created desires are artificial wants that are not necessary for survival or even comfort, but are often promoted by advertising as being essential to happiness or success. These can include the latest smartphone model, designer clothing, luxury cars, or high-end beauty products. Advertisements often associate these products with emotional or social benefits, such as popularity, attractiveness, or a higher social status, to make consumers believe that owning them will improve their lives in significant ways. The key difference lies in the origin of the desire. Real needs come from within, from our biological and psychological requirements. Created desires, however, are often the result of external influences, especially marketing strategies designed to trigger emotional responses. For example, someone may feel the urge to upgrade their phone, not because their current one is broken, but because an advertisement suggests that a new model will make them feel more modern or connected. This manipulation of consumer behavior blurs the line between what we truly need and what we are led to want. Recognizing this distinction is the first step toward making more conscious and responsible choices in a world where advertising constantly tries to shape our priorities. Advertising has a powerful ability to shape how consumers perceive products, often convincing them that owning certain items is essential for happiness, success, or social status. Through carefully crafted messages, visuals, and emotional appeals, advertisements do much more than just introduce a product. They create a story around it. This story often links the product to personal dreams, aspirations, or insecurities, making it seem like the key to a better life. For example, advertisements for luxury cars rarely focus on the vehicle's technical features. Instead, they show confident, attractive people driving through scenic landscapes or urban environments, suggesting that owning this car is a symbol of success and high social standing. Similarly, beauty and skincare ads often imply that using a specific product will lead to greater confidence, admiration, and even romantic attraction. By associating products with positive emotions and desired lifestyles, advertising taps into people's hopes and fears. Social media and influencer marketing have further amplified this effect. When celebrities or popular online figures promote a product, it can create the illusion that buying it will help regular consumers achieve a similar lifestyle or level of popularity. This creates pressure, especially among young people, to keep up with trends not because they need the product, but because they want to belong or be admired. In this way, advertising changes how we view not only products, but also ourselves. It often makes us believe that we are incomplete or lacking without certain items. Over time, this perception becomes deeply embedded in consumer culture, where personal worth is increasingly measured by what we own rather than who we are. This is one of the most significant ways advertising influences modern society. Many of the most popular consumer products today owe their success not to genuine necessity, but to the powerful influence of advertising. Items such as smartphones, energy drinks, branded fashion, and even certain cosmetic products are clear examples of how demand can be created and maintained through effective marketing, rather than actual need. Take smartphones, for instance. While having a phone is certainly useful in modern life, frequent upgrades to the latest model are often unnecessary. However, companies launch massive advertising campaigns to convince consumers that they need the newest features, even if the changes from the previous model are minor. People are made to believe that owning the latest phone means being modern, successful, and socially relevant. Another example is energy drinks. These products are marketed as essential for boosting performance, staying alert, or achieving an active lifestyle. Yet, in reality, most people do not need them, and excessive consumption can even be harmful. Their widespread popularity is largely the result of marketing that targets young people and athletes with images of excitement, strength, and endurance. Branded fashion also demonstrates how advertising can create demand based on image rather than function. Designer clothes, handbags, and shoes often come with high price tags, but they serve the same basic purpose as more affordable alternatives. However, advertisements portray these items as symbols of luxury, confidence, and status, persuading people to purchase them not because of need, but because of the identity they project. In each of these cases, advertising transforms ordinary products into lifestyle statements. The popularity of these goods far exceeds their necessity, proving how powerful marketing can be in shaping what people want, and even what they believe they need. One of the most powerful tools in advertising is the use of emotional and psychological techniques to influence consumer behavior. Rather than simply presenting facts about a product, advertisers often aim to create a strong emotional connection with the audience. By tapping into feelings such as fear, desire, insecurity, or FOMO, fear of missing out, advertisements can drive people to make purchases they might not have considered otherwise. Fear is commonly used in ads related to health, safety, or personal care. For example, toothpaste commercials may warn about tooth decay or bad breath, creating anxiety and pushing consumers toward a particular brand. Insurance companies often show worst-case scenarios to make people worry about their future and feel the need for protection. This emotional trigger makes the product seem not just useful, but essential. Desire is another major emotion used in advertising, especially for luxury goods, cosmetics, and fashion. Ads often feature attractive people, ideal lifestyles, or romantic success, implying that buying the product will help the consumer achieve similar results. Whether it's the desire for beauty, success, confidence, or love, advertisers know how to connect these dreams to the items they are selling. FOMO is especially common in modern digital advertising. Limited time offers, flash sales, or phrases like, "only 2 left in stock," create a sense of urgency. Consumers are made to feel that if they don't act quickly, they will miss out on something valuable or exciting. This pressure often leads to impulsive buying decisions. By strategically using these emotional and psychological tactics, advertisers go beyond promoting products, they manipulate human behavior. These techniques are highly effective, which is why they are used so frequently across all forms of media. In the digital age, social media has become one of the most powerful platforms for advertising, and influencers play a key role in shaping consumer behavior. Influencers are individuals who have large followings on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Their ability to promote products in a personal and relatable way makes them highly effective marketers. However, the trends they promote often reflect consumer desires rather than real societal needs. Many influencers advertise luxury items, fashion, beauty products, or tech gadgets that are not essential to everyday life. Because their lives are often seen as aspirational, followers may feel pressured to buy the same products to achieve a similar lifestyle. For example, an influencer may promote a $200 skincare routine, suggesting it is necessary for healthy skin, even though more affordable products might work just as well. This creates unrealistic expectations and encourages spending on non-essential goods. Viral marketing further amplifies this effect. When a product or trend spreads rapidly across social media, it can create a sense of urgency or popularity, making people feel they must join in or risk being left out. A single viral video or influencer post can lead to sold-out products overnight. Not because people truly need them, but because everyone else seems to be buying them. This fear of missing out, FOMO, drives impulsive purchases and creates short-lived trends that often lack lasting value. In this way, social media and influencer culture blur the line between personal recommendation and paid promotion. They shape consumer culture in ways that prioritize popularity over necessity. As a result, many people end up buying products not based on their real needs, but on the influence of personalities they admire online. Advertising plays a major role in promoting consumerism, a culture where people are encouraged to constantly buy and consume more goods and services, often beyond their actual needs. By presenting material possessions as the key to happiness, success, and social approval, advertising fuels overconsumption and contributes to a growing sense of materialism in modern society. People are constantly exposed to messages that suggest their lives will be better if they own more, the latest phone, the newest car, or the trendiest clothes. This constant pressure to consume has significant effects on both individuals and society as a whole. On a personal level, people may feel dissatisfied with what they have, always chasing the next product that promises improvement or happiness. This can lead to financial stress, reduced self-esteem, and a cycle of temporary satisfaction followed by disappointment. Instead of valuing experiences, relationships, or personal growth, individuals may begin to measure their worth based on what they own. On a societal level, the obsession with consumption shifts cultural values. Success is increasingly defined by wealth and possessions, rather than by character, creativity, or contribution to the community. Social comparison becomes more intense, especially with the influence of social media, where people often showcase only the most glamorous aspects of their lives. This encourages others to keep up, even if it means spending beyond their means. Moreover, overconsumption has negative environmental consequences, including increased waste, pollution, and resource depletion. While advertising helps drive economic growth, it also plays a role in unsustainable lifestyles. In short, advertising doesn't just sell products, it shapes how people think and what they value. As consumerism grows, it's important to reflect on whether we are living according to our true values or simply following what advertising tells us to want. There are many real-world examples where advertising has clearly driven the massive success of non-essential products by creating desire rather than meeting actual needs. One of the most striking cases is fast fashion. Brands like Zara, H&M, and Shein have built billion-dollar empires by encouraging consumers to constantly buy the latest clothing trends. Their advertisements promote the idea that staying fashionable means constantly updating your wardrobe, even if the clothes from last month are still perfectly wearable. This marketing strategy has led to overproduction, waste, and the normalization of disposable clothing. Another example is the release of new smartphone models every year, particularly by companies like Apple and Samsung. These devices often come with only minor improvements compared to previous versions. Yet aggressive advertising makes them appear revolutionary. Through sleek commercials, emotional storytelling, and aspirational branding, consumers are persuaded to upgrade frequently, not because their old phone no longer works, but because they feel left behind if they don't. The desire to own the latest and greatest becomes stronger than any actual need for better performance. Additionally, the success of products like energy drinks, such as Red Bull and Monster, showcases how advertising can create a perceived need where none existed before. Through extreme sports sponsorships and exciting, adrenaline-filled campaigns, These drinks have become associated with high energy, youth, and adventure. Despite offering little nutritional value and sometimes raising health concerns, they have gained huge popularity. These campaigns prove how powerful advertising can be in shaping market demand. By appealing to emotions, trends, and social identity, advertisers have turned ordinary or even unnecessary products into must-have items. These examples highlight how consumer choices are often driven more by marketing messages than by real necessity. In conclusion, advertising plays a powerful role in shaping consumer behavior, often blurring the line between what we truly need and what we're convinced we want. While some products may meet essential needs, many are driven more by marketing strategies that exploit our emotions, insecurities, and desires. From smartphones to luxury fashion, advertising creates a perception that we need these items to be happy, successful, or socially accepted, even when they may not be necessary for our well-being. The influence of advertising is so pervasive that it often overrides our rational decision-making process, leading us to buy things that we might not truly need. We are constantly told what's new, better, or trendy, which shapes our values and priorities, and in turn, fuels overconsumption and materialism. However, it's also important to recognize that not all advertising is inherently negative. Some advertisements serve to inform consumers about products that genuinely improve lives. Whether in health, education, or sustainability, it is not advertising itself that is problematic, but the way it is often used to create artificial desires. I invite you all to think critically about your own purchasing habits. The next time you make a purchase, ask yourself, is this something I truly need? Or is it something I've been convinced I need? Are my choices being influenced by my own desires or by external pressures from advertising? By becoming more aware of these influences, we can take control of our consumption patterns and make more intentional decisions that align with our true values, rather than simply following the trends dictated by advertising.